What's up, Bulldog Nation? This is Josh with the Governor's Bulldogs coming to you guys on a Sunday night. And I come to you tonight, hurt and down, man. It was another rough night for Georgia against the Crimson Tide. And, I was there at the game from start to finish. Was there for the dog walk all the way through. Sat in the stadium just speechless for probably about an hour after the game, letting everybody walk out. So I was there to see it firsthand, and I'm just hurt, man. I'm just a terrible feeling that we cannot beat these guys. And this has gone on for a long time. But it's been going on for so long now that you kind of get used to it after a while. But I was livid, absolutely livid last night with the Dogs' performance. And we can kind of get into that. In this video, I'm going to say some stuff that's not going to be very popular with the Georgia fans. But, at a certain point, we've got to face reality. And I'll just start off by saying, the same way right now that we look at Tennessee and Florida, how we own the series and go into every single game against those guys, we feel like we're going to win the game. We look at Tennessee almost right now like they're a joke. We look at Florida right now like they're a joke. It's almost laughable. It's not a rivalry. It's not close. We make fun of them. We look down on them because we know we've got their number. And until they beat us and make the series competitive, we're always going to go into that game with the mental advantage, with the upper hand, and we're always going to feel like we are going to win, find a way to win, or they are going to find a way to lose, and that we're going to dominate the game and continue to dominate the series. That's the same way that Alabama looks at us. And you really can't blame them at this point. We've got to face reality that Georgia has got a serious problem playing the Alabama Crimson Tide. It was already 9 out of the last 10, so I was mistaken. This game didn't make it that. They had already won 9 out of the last 10. They've won the last 3 inside Sanford Stadium. Kirby Smart's now 1-7 against Alabama. They own this series all time. And I just want to say this to the Georgia fans. The only game that Kirby has ever won against Alabama was in a year that we split. They boat raced us in the SEC championship in 2021. Blew us out. What most people say is our best ever team. They blew us out in Atlanta. And then we rematched against them in Indianapolis. The only reason that we won that game is because John Mechie and Jamison Williams were not in the game, out with injuries. Their 2 most explosive players on offense were not playing. Now you can say woulda, coulda, shoulda. You can't say that. You don't know. Their 2 most explosive players on offense were out and did not play in that game. If they were in that game, there's a much higher chance that they would have won that game. But whichever way you want to dice it, we still split with them. Georgia's best team ever got blown out by Alabama. And if those 2 guys would have played, it could have been 10 out of the last 10. So this is a very serious problem that we've got with Alabama. And I lay this game at the foot of Kirby Smart. You have to. He's the head coach. This is 2 seasons in a row that Kirby Smart has got outcoached by Kalen Debor. Drastically out of a bye week. Alabama came out yet again, just like last year, looked like the more prepared team, the more focused team. They had us schemed up. They had us on our heels. They had all the answers. They did not play tight. They did not play on their heels. They played fast, aggressive football, and they executed at a damn near perfect clip on offense. They had our defense reeling in the first half. And that's just the reality of the situation and the reality of the series. And I said going into this game, going into this season, when I picked that Georgia would lose this game. And listen, I'm not the kind of Georgia fan that this brings me any joy at all. I really am hurt. I'm down. I'm upset. I'm pissed off. I was beyond livid sitting in the stands last night. But I picked Alabama to win this game because until Georgia shows me that they can go out on the field and beat Alabama, I just cannot pick them to win this game. We have repeatedly found ways to lose this game, going all the way back 2012, 2008. It's just been miserable. But getting into this game, Ty Simpson was damn near perfect in the first half. We could not get off the field on third down. Their first 2 drives were both 14-play drives all the way down the field on our defense for touchdowns. Our offense gets the ball and goes 3 and out. Our offense gets the ball again and does nothing with it. And that really set the tone for the entirety of the game. Our offense not being able to move the ball on countless drives was miserable. Absolutely miserable to watch. Without the Colby Young bust and the penalty on the other end, this game really wouldn't have even been in position for Georgia to win. And yet they still could have done it with what happened. I mean, we'll get into at the end of the video what Georgia could have done to win the game. But I'm just of the opinion that, man, Georgia is damn near defeated before we even go out on the field to play these guys. And not just the team, the fans, the program, everybody. Because when Alabama went down and scored the first 2 drives, the life of the stadium, the look on everybody's face was, oh shit, here we go again with these guys. And I'm just going to say, like, yes, the game was loud. It was one of the best environments I've ever been a part of in Sanford Stadium. So I've got to credit the majority of the fans for contributing to that. But I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, I went to the game in Tuscaloosa last year, and it was louder. And the Alabama fans that came to the game last night that sat across from me, I was sitting in section 135, row 27, right under the guy that plays the trumpet at the beginning of the game. So the Alabama fans were dead across from me. Those 10, 11,000 Alabama fans made a lot of noise. For anybody that was in that stadium and could hear, them making noise in that game, those 10,000 fans were louder than the 10,000 Georgia fans that went to Tuscaloosa last year. And I was screaming the entire time at the game last year and at the game this year on every single down. And I'm sitting there screaming my butt off, and so is the guy next to me. I forget what the guy's name is already, but I'm sitting there screaming every single day. As soon as Alabama huddles, I start screaming. And I'm screaming and lifting my arms up like, come on, guys, start yelling. Like, we got to get their back. We got to do something about this. We can't let them communicate. I'm trying to pump everybody up around me. Half the people are yelling and half the people aren't. And I'm telling you guys, it was loud. It was a very loud atmosphere. But not every single person was yelling. It was like half of the fans had already seemed defeated and had given up. And I get what you're saying. Like, I get how a lot of people feel like, man, if the dogs aren't going to go out there and make plays, I'm not going to sit here and lose my voice. But I'm just of the opinion, like, dude, we've got to do everything we can to help our team beat these guys. Like, if we didn't get it done last night, when is it going to happen? Like, last night was the night. Like, you had to win that game last night, and you didn't get it done. And I'm just of the opinion, like, if I'm there, like, I spent $2,000 to go to this game last night. Looking back on it, that's something I probably shouldn't have done. But I spent the money. I went to the game. And if the dogs are in there fighting, like, I'm going to fight with them. Like, if I lose my voice, so what? Like, I'm sick and tired of losing to Alabama. I gave it everything I had for the entire night. Lost my voice. My throat's hurt all day today. But they were in there fighting. I'm going to fight with them. And just looking around the stadium, the majority of people were yelling, but it wasn't everybody. And, they need us, man. Like, they need every single person, all hands on deck when you're in an environment like that. And I'm just telling you, like, Tuscaloosa was louder. The Alabama fans that came last night were louder than our fans. And that's on us as fans. Like, that's something we have control of to affect the game. Just wanted to kind of throw that out there real quick. And another thing on the offensive side of the ball that bothered me was Zach Branch is the best player on this team. And I felt like we should have forced him the ball more than we did. We didn't even target a tight end, I don't think, the entire night. Tight ends were not involved, were not a factor in this game at all. It was just a very weird game by our offense. There was no rhythm, no flow to this game whatsoever. We just never could get on track, it seemed like. The story of this game, though, I'm just going to tell you, we could never get off the field on third down in the first half. And Alabama builds too big of a lead, too much momentum, which is causing Georgia to play from behind, which I think is part of what got our offense off rhythm. The defense couldn't get off the field on third down. This is the part that infuriated me the most last night. 0 sacks. 0 sacks in that home environment. Like, that was one of the loudest I've ever heard Sanford Stadium for the entirety of the game. And you don't produce a single sack in that atmosphere. 0 turnovers. Not a single turnover forced by that defense. And I'm sitting there in the stadium watching this game the entire time, and I'm like, man, who's going to step up and make a play? Like, where are our playmakers at? Where is the pass rush when you need it? You know, if we can't get home with 4, if we can't get there with the defensive ends and outside linebackers, where's the pressure up the middle? Like, how can you not generate a single sack in that atmosphere? I mean, you've got the advantage. You've got the get off on the snap count. You know when it's coming. Not a single sack. Ty Simpson didn't get knocked down a single time in this game. He had all night long to pick apart our defense and our young DBs. And he diced us up. Like, Ty Simpson was on his game. Another thing that was critical for me, I said in my video, in my Alabama prediction or whatever it was video leading up to this game, I said I want 5 false starts from the fan base. We didn't get that. We only got 2. Ty Simpson and Alabama's offensive line did a phenomenal job handling that crowd noise. Only 2 false starts. I was very surprised because it did get loud in there at times, guys. It's not that the fans didn't try, and I'm not saying the fans don't deserve credit. The fans get the MVP of that game. The fans that were yelling did everything they could. I'm just saying it could have been everybody. It could have been louder. That's all I'm telling you. I'm just telling you, like, in an unbiased way, those 10,000 Alabama fans were freaking loud. Were extremely loud, guys. And I'm just saying, like, if you're going to go to the game, like, let's help them out. Like, every single person. Like, man, those tickets were expensive, dude. Like, I just felt like everybody should have known how desperate this situation was. You can't just stand there and watch with your mouth open at what's happening. Like, affect the game and help our guys. Like, that's just how I feel about that. I know that's not reality. Not everybody's going to do that. But, man, I'm just telling you, like, I took that personal. How loud it was for our guys at Bryant-Denny, I took that personal. I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to be as loud as humanly freaking possible when Alabama comes to us. And I was. I gave it everything I had. Only 2 false starts. And then getting into this where Georgia made critical mistakes. And this right here is the most infuriating part for me about this entire series going all the way back to 2012. There were there were so many times where I thought Georgia has the better team. Georgia has the better roster. Georgia looks better against common opponents. Georgia has the better record. There have been so many times where we went into a game against them, and I felt like all those things were true. And Georgia finds a way to lose. That is why I picked Alabama to win that game. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know why it was going to happen, when it was going to come in the game, but it happened yet again. And it was right here. Not getting off the field on third down was one of them. Nate Frazier fumbling inside our own 15 was 3 points. Talon Taylor dropping a wide open pass at the 5-yard line. Nobody within 5 yards of him was 7 points. And then Kirby going for it with Cass Jones on 4th and 1 and losing 3 yards when he should have kicked the field goal. That was another 3 points. That was 13 points. Georgia would have won the game right there doing those 3 things. If Talon Taylor catches the ball, I feel like Georgia's defense was playing good enough. The crowd would have been behind the players and everything. I feel like Georgia could have won the game. Drops the ball. Like, what were 2 of our biggest problems last year with the current guys that we got? Nate Frazier couldn't hold on to the ball. Shows up again this season. Wide receivers dropping wide open passes that hit him in both hands. Shows up again this season. Kirby going for it on 4th down and not getting it. Shows up again this season. And the 4th down thing was maddening to me because you had all the momentum in that game. You kick the field goal right there. You make it a 24-24 game. The crowd's behind you. All the momentum is behind you. You put all the pressure on Alabama. And the way that your defense was playing, you shut them out in the second half. Like, That is one positive we can take away from this game. Is Chauncey Bowens emerged as the number one running back, straight up. Like, Chauncey Bowens needs to be getting the majority of the carries from here on out. Nate Frazier needs to learn how to hold on to the ball. And I'm sorry, like, Nate Frazier is not explosive. Like, I've been over this on this channel repeatedly. Like, Nate Frazier is not an elite running back. Just because you're the starting running back at UGA does not make you an elite running back. And I've went over and over and over with this, talking to fans about this, and they just cannot comprehend it. Todd Gurley was an elite running back. DeAndre Swift was an elite running back. Nick Chubb and Sony Michel were elite running backs. Nobody on our team is even close to on that level. And that's just straight up. I'm just being straight up honest with you guys. Those four guys that I just named, that run that Nate had in the first half where he broke it up the middle, he does not have the game-breaking speed to get away from guys. He is not fast. He got tracked down and brought down from behind. Those four guys I just talked about ain't getting tracked down and brought down from behind with a hole that big. There's no way. And we just don't have an explosive game-breaking back on this team. We don't have a home run hitter except for Peanut, but he's too small on this team. We don't have anybody that scares defenses at the running back position. Straight up. We've got good backs, but they're not elite. They're not on the level of our previous guys that have played here. And that's been showing up more and more and more. I've been telling you guys the trajectory of Georgia running backs has been going like this since Kirby got here. And DeAndre Swift is one of my all-time favorite players, but he was on that 2017 team. He was there. And since that season, it's just slowly declined. Like, Swift and Holyfield were not as good as Chubb and Michelle. And the duos have just slowly declined in talent since then. And here we are where we're at today. That's just been glaringly obvious to me, and nobody else seems to get that. Like, they just think, oh, well, because Nate was highly recruited and is the starting running back, that he's going to be some elite game-breaking running back, and I never saw that from him. Oh, I thought that he was going to get better this offseason, and I don't see that he got better this offseason, to be honest with you. So that the running back thing, Chauncey Bowens is our best back. He needs to be getting the carries from here on out, and I'll just leave that whole situation at that. But the defense did shut out Alabama in the second half, and I think that Alabama offense is the best offense that we're going to face this season. So that's something that you can build on. But again, man, like those 13 points right there that we talked about, and not being able to get off the third down, off the field on third down, like that's what decided this game. And just the mistakes by Georgia. Like, we had the game within reach. The ball hit us in the hands to win the game, and we drop it. Like, dropping the football on the field, turnovers, making stupid coaching decisions late in the game when the home crowd is behind you. It's just crazy. The ways that we found to lose this game. Ellis Robinson jumping on the pile for the 15 yards to ice the game. Crazy. Not characteristic, undisciplined Georgia football. Alabama played a clean game, only had 2 false starts. They averaged as much as 10 penalties coming into this game. They didn't have that. We had more penalties than they did. So just a lot of mistakes, man, and it's maddening. Like, it is beyond frustrating. I'm right there with the entire fan base. This isn't good enough. This is not acceptable. It hurts. It sucks. But right now, they've got our number. And I don't know when it's going to stop. I do not have the answers for you guys. And neither does Kirby Smart. He's got no answers for what's going on with this Alabama thing. And I don't like his answer to what Connor Riley asked last night. When Connor said, you're 1-7, how do you get this fixed? And Kirby says, well, what's everybody else's record against him? The problem with that, dog, is you ain't everybody else. Like, you're not some bum-ass, middle-of-the-road coach in the SEC or some Big Ten coach or Wisconsin's coach. Like, you're not that, dude. Like, you're held to a higher standard than that. You're supposed to be the best coach in college football. And against everybody else, you've proven that you are. But Alabama has got your number. You're 1-7 against this team. And you've had the better roster. You've had the better players. You've gotten them at home now. You played them in Atlanta multiple times. You've had the better record. Look better against common opponents. And your team looks unprepared time and time again, playing on their heels, playing tight, playing timid, making mistakes, dropping balls, and turning the ball over and making bad coaching decisions on repeat since you've been at Georgia against this Alabama team. And it's a problem. And I don't think he takes, I hate to say this, but the answer that he gave, like, dude, you've got to take this more serious. You're held to a higher standard than all those other guys. You ain't all those other guys. All the other guys haven't recruited in the top 3 year in and year out since 2016. All the other guys don't have 2 national championships. All the other guys didn't win the SEC East for 6 years in a row or whatever it was. All the other guys don't put 13 players a year into the NFL draft. All the other guys didn't have 7 first-round picks off of. You ain't all the other guys. That's the problem. That's why everybody's so pissed off. Because you have set the standard and shown that you can coach at an elite level against elite programs. Ohio State, Tennessee's, Michigan's, Texas, Oklahoma. You run down the list of teams that have been Notre Dame multiple times. On the road, SEC championships, big-time bowl games, playoff games. The most lopsided national championship game in history. What was this one? 60-something to not. So I don't even remember because I'm getting it confused with the Florida State game. The Orange Bowl where we beat them 63-3. The other guys ain't doing that. That's the problem. So why time and time again, with all of the things that I just named that Kirby Smart and Georgia's football program has accomplished from 2016 to now, why are we 1-7 against Alabama with Kirby Smart and everything that I just named, all the accomplishments that I just named? We're 1-7. It's insanity. The ways that we have found to lose this game and give it to them over and over, season after season. And the fans are sick of it. People that I was around last night are sick of this shit. And there's no end in sight. None. You go back to Tuscaloosa last year. Or you go back to Tuscaloosa to play them again next year. Which is a problem in itself. How have we went there 3-4 times and they've only been here once? Like, how do you allow that to happen? But that answer last night that he gave Connor Riley, it pissed me off, man. What's everybody else's record against him? Bro, you ain't everybody else. Everybody else wishes they could have what you have. The money that you have. The facilities that you have. The recruits that you have. It's maddening, guys. It's maddening. And I don't have the answers to give you. I wish that I did. I wish I could have went down there last night and made a play on defense and gotten a sack and forced a turnover. Unfortunately, I'm 5'8", 175 pounds, and I'm 33 freaking years old. My football playing days are behind me. I did everything I could up there in the stands. You know, I feel like I was a big part of those 2 false starts. But for the foreseeable future, unfortunately, Georgia fans, Alabama freaking owns us. They own this series all time. They own Kirby Smart. They own Sanford Stadium, and they own Atlanta. It seems like the only time that we can beat them is when the game is played up north. I don't have an answer for it. But we got to start taking this more serious. How you can look that unprepared as a defense after a bye week, knowing that you got this team at home, knowing that you've got an Alabama problem, knowing that this is going to be one of the most electric atmospheres that Sanford Stadium's ever seen, and you look that unprepared and you get out coached that badly is just crazy to me. Like, Georgia fell flat on their face last night. And that was a piss poor, lackluster performance from the coaching staff all the way down to the players. Fumbling the ball, dropping passes, missing blocks, not executing, not getting off the field on third down. And the bad part is they showed that they could stop them in the second half. They shut them out. But I was beyond disappointed with the defense not being able to get off the field. Zero pressure on the quarterback. Ty Simpson never even got touched by a Georgia player in that game. Never got touched. Let alone knocked down, let alone sacked, no strip sack fumbles, no turnovers in that home environment. So, I'm sitting here asking myself, when's this going to end? And I don't have an answer for you guys. I don't think it's going to be while Kirby Smart is here. He for whatever reason, we cannot get this figured out. We've had eight cracks at this now. And if their two best players were healthy when we played in Indianapolis, we might be 0-8. And that is just the reality of the situation. And before you get mad at me and say, oh, well, the injuries are part of the game, we all know damn well that we all said if we had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers healthy in 23, we would have beat them. And I think we would have. But those guys weren't healthy, so we didn't. It's the same thing in reverse. So, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to end, guys, but it's bad. There's some stuff that we can build on. We found a running back. We shut out the best offense we're going to see this season in the second half. But outside of that, I don't have much positive to say about last night's game. It was dreadful. It was awful. And I sat there in disbelief as everybody cleared out of the stadium, and I was like, there's just no way that just happened. But it did. Again. And unfortunately, you get used to it after watching it happen like that for 20 seasons. So I don't know when the tide's going to turn in this season. It'll happen eventually. Like, these things, they come and they go. I mean, Florida owned us at one point. We're back to owning Florida. We couldn't beat Tennessee at one point. We're back to beating Tennessee. I mean, the same way that Alabama feels about us is the way that we feel about Tennessee. Like, we're 9 in a row on Tennessee. Like, that hurts. That hurts. So we're doing it to other people. And just to end on a somewhat positive note, because I know I complained a lot in this video. But Georgia's season's not over. That's the best offense that we're going to see. We were able to do some good things against them in the second half. You got to go out there and beat Kentucky. You got to handle business against Auburn. You've got some big home games left remaining on the schedule. You've got to find a way to improve and to win those games. You've got to come up with a pass rush at some point in this season. And you've got to continue to get better. You've got to continue to get better. You've got to find a pass rush, because that last night was just unacceptable. So everything that Georgia still wants to do is still in front of them. This sucked, and it was embarrassing, guys, straight up. And I'm just as mad as anybody else. But it's just the way it is. It's the way this has gone. It's the way it's been going for the foreseeable future. I think it's the way it's going to continue to go until Georgia gets one. Gets a couple. Like, we're due for one. You've got to start winning a couple of these games against these guys, because this is as tormenting as it gets as a fan base. All right, I'm going to watch the rest of this Cowboys-Packers game. Hopefully we can recoup, have a good week of practice, get it done against Kentucky, guys, and hopefully we can all be in a better mood next Saturday, next Sunday. Y'all have a good week, man. Go Dogs.